Greetings, everyone. This is Delion Francis 60 here. I'm doing a book review for miniatures for Team Yankee. It's called Oil War. This is basically the expansion book. It's basically it focuses on all the faction in the Middle East. It's basically a World War III scenario. It's basically the book is from the base on the from a guy who wrote by Harold Cole. It's a novel series on the Team Yankee. This is that the events in that book is taking place. This is taking place in the Middle East. There's also the miniatures game for that came out a couple years ago, basically using the Flames of War scenario with the Soviets, with the Warsaw Pacts, the NATO, U.S. stuff, and all that stuff. All the fun World War II pre goodies with modern equipment at that time. So I'm gonna do a review on this book since this book finally came out like a couple months ago, and it's been already 2 months already, and if excited when it first came out, the beginning of around Christmas when they told us about this. Here are all the scenarios, the story, the background of the World War III, and all that stuff. Things are heating up. Oh, and this is where the focuses are in the Middle East, the war in the Middle East. I don't know if you can see it from here, but it's right in there, like the top of the thing. Like Iran, Iraq, and all that stuff that happened around the Middle East is going on. Well, the faction, we still don't have events on the Pacific, but I bet we'll get that one soon. And here are how the story and all that stuff, or the factions, how they were, because the war in the Middle East been going on before the war of the 85 happened. So this is basically play with, if you're into historical gaming and those timeline, this is perfect for you. It's all Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Iran, Israel, and all that stuff. All that's faction. And here the force overview for the IDF forces, Israel Defense Forces, and they got like everything from Western equipment and some captured Soviet equipment probably from the Syrians, but they got a lot of stuff in here. Good stuff, very good stuff. They got their own. They finally brought in the Merkava 1 and 2, but it's pretty expensive to deploy though. But expensive is much better than quantity over quality in this game. But Soviet sometimes always prove them wrong. And there's like the faction. If you're familiar with the Flames of War, you can tell this black over the gray ones. The black ones are basically these boxes. They're basically their requirement to have, and the gray ones are pretty much optional, but you can also fill them. They're not necessary. You can add them to support if you want to. I'm not currently using the faction for the Israeli. I'm focusing primarily on the Iraqis and the Iranians. And there comes the MM-113 infantry. Yeah, the good stuff in here. Syria's also here too, but they have I think they get the raw end of the deal in this thing. They only have like 2 pages, so you have to use the Iraqi rules for them. So, but they do have stuff from the Fate of the Nation stuff, so that's probably gonna help out. Here's like the overview and the like stuff you can collect. Look at that beautiful stuff. I'm having difficulties just copying this basing, but well, here are the Iraqis and the Iranians, the Iran-Iraq War. They too have a scenarios. Each factions will have their own stories on that stuff. It comes with 2 scenarios. There's even a little logs or diaries by like there's this Iranian tank commanders and a British chieftain, or he's using this against. He's making a charge on Iraq. It's all in here. Yeah. The Iraqis, they have an interesting equipment. I'm currently building right now their T-62 tank formation and their T-72, but I will get the T-55. And over here, I got these French self-propelled artilleries. I just got that in the weekend. I just need to get an observer for them. And here's the T-62 company. And it says right over here, everything with, I have this already, like the two, I pretty much covered this area. I have BMP-1 with Iraqi troops and a Shilka. And it says all the points in here. Like, I'm doing it only by 5, so I'm paying like 7 points for 5 tanks in a platoon. So I might add another extra 5 more so it'll be a 15 at least. If I choose, if I want to, because I want to add in more support vehicles too, so like artillery and extra air units. And here's the Iraqi T-72. Currently working on that one. Same thing, but a little bit in the cost. It's much more, a little bit expensive. So 5 unit will be 13 points. 3 units will have more option for 7 points. And for a T-55, you get like 5 points. You can feel more with a T-55. So I'm building a T-62. My T-62 is done. T-72 is on the works, and I am gonna get me T-55 tank battalion. So I'm having the whole shebang for the Iraqis right here. Yeah, I'm gonna have all of them soon. I'll do a review on my faction once I'm done with painting them, or if pretty much required the entire set. I will do a army overview on them. So stay tuned for that one. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a tip, guys. When I was assembling my T-62 tank battalion, I ended up buying the Fate of the Nation box. I got that Egyptian set. It comes with 9 T-62 and 2 Shilkas. So that's pretty good. Good deal. And if you get the T-55 for the Syrians, it's the same thing. So I would recommend getting that, and plus add around 2 more. Then you'll have a freaking you'll have an HQ and an extra tank for them. So it'll complete into a 5 tank team. And it's gonna be, you'll have like you're gonna have yourself a battalion as much as you can. You can fill enough battalion to fill up the gap. All you gotta do is just add some BTR or BMPs in there, and you're pretty much good. Yeah, so that's a tip. Get the Fate of the Nation and the tanks game. The modern age, they have like good selection. That's what I'm doing. That's what I did. I got me like 4 BMPs and filled it up, and I got some. I'm actually gonna go back probably 2 weeks from now from the Gamers Club, that the store that I actually buy it from. I'm gonna clean out his AMX 10s, his French ones, for my Iraqis. And here's the anti-air vehicles. I think it's the ZSU 57. I have that for my Iranians, but I'm probably gonna get that for my Iraqis. I have that for my Iraqis. Once I get me the T-55 for my Iraqis, I'm gonna give the Shilkas to the Iranians, so they'll have a split. So I can buy another extra one for the Russians. Like if I get the Russian pack that comes into, that's not gonna be hard. They're pretty Battlefront products are pretty cheap. They're pretty reasonable price, unlike a certain company GW. Yeah, they're pretty decent price for deal. So here I got the I can build me a BMP1 battalion and all that stuff. And here's the BTR. Give me options. I can fill in like either T55, T72, or these 62. Yeah, that T72s are gonna go for my Republican Guard forces. In fact, there's actually a pack. I end up buying like the 9 T7 Soviet T72 with Mi-24s, and end up getting me that Hussein Republican Guard pack with 370 T72s with two French Gazelles. So pretty much got me some good aircraft in there, or helicopters. And here's more French equipment. They have a lot of French and Russian. Yeah, I have this one, like I said, and I'm gonna see if I can get me these BM-21 Hill rockets. Let's move on. Here's the Gazelle and the Mi-24. Pair these guys together as a squadron, and you'll get a perfect hunter killer team. And for some reason, the Iraqis has more anti-air vehicles compared to the Iranians. And here's the Syrians. They really got the raw end of the deal. They got a bad one. And here's another awesome looking diorama between them. It's like a perfect advertisement. Let's see that Iraqi T-70. I think T-55 got blown up. And I see the Iranians. This color pattern is this camouflage. I don't know if that's historically accurate. Please um give me a comment if it actually is, or is this just another Battlefront idea. Here's for the Iranians. They're actually easier to paint. I like painting the Iranians because they're quicker in their vehicles. They have only one color for their color palette, green gray. I'll tell more. And here you can feel these guys for. This is your Allied air formation. I will explain more about the air formation for the fixed wing aircraft because I think they're gonna have something new coming out. And here for the Iranians and all that stuff, rockets. The Iranians get their stuff from the U.S. and Britain. So before the Shah fell, so they're pretty much using Shah equipment, and they eventually got their hands on some Soviet and Chinese or probably North Korean equipment. They got it from anywhere they can, or build up some small arms fire. Like it's pretty that's how they did it back in the Iran-Iraq War. There's the Chieftain tank company. I managed to finish all that. I primed 4 of them right now because I want to get a 2 HQ for that one. So I have 3, 2, and I just finished up my MM-113 platoon with Iranian infantry. I just finished up basing them this just earlier. I need to get my hands on the M60 Patton, so I'll have some Americans. America, yeah. T62. This is another good option. I'm telling. Unlike the one for the Fate of the Nation ones that you can get like 9 tanks, I don't need to get this one. Probably just get me the regular 5 T62 they're selling, and I probably just add what I'll probably for the HQ. So I have enough to field me some decent tanks, because the Iranians, they tend to use 3 as their tank group compared to the Iraqis who are using mass formations, or they're using Western tactics compared to the Iraqis who were just using Soviet tactics. So this is I can field in like 3 T62 for 4 points, or 3 T55 for a tank group, but they don't have a dedicated company, so I have an option to put them down for my T62 company. And I have Bashid infantry. so I can do, once I'm done painting them, I'll be able to fill them in. Here's a mechanized company where you can put your infantry. I like the mechanized infantry for the Iraqi, or for the Iraqis, Iranians, because they're pretty simple. Just M113s, and they're pretty much you got yourself a good deal. Just get your mechanized group for another Iranian teams and another one for optionals. And you can add in some. You can add in some M113 with anti-tank, anti-tow, mortars, and an extra or a group of American Chieftain T62 and T55. So that's a good deal. That's a good setup for you. And like all artilleries, they need to have observers. So, and some of the equipments are basically captured from the Iraqi. So that's, you can actually fill them in. Here's the mortar, the stats for them, the anti-tank. They have card stats you can use, unlike the old days. So if you need to bring it from your game, you can pull out the cards. So it doesn't come every time in the box, so you have to get the card packs with you. I have it with me, but I don't have it right now in this review. And here's the artillery units. Need to get that one, and I need to get me at least 3 of them. I can fill 3. And I needed probably a recon, not a recon, artillery observer, another M113. That's gonna be my observer. Using the tanks modern age is actually the best way to get to fill up your units faster. I have 2 of these, and I got that from the tanks game, from the modern age one. And here's the anti-air. I made that for my Iranians, and here's my, and the Cobra. I need to get me a second pair of these. And this is the end of that thing. And this is what they said in the about earlier about the aircraft, because compared to the other faction like the Syrians, the Iraqis, and the Iranians, the Israelis are the only one has the aircraft in here, so they have to supplement them with Warsaw or NATO pack units. But I really don't want to fill them in because it's not historically accurate. I want to do a historical one. So it says right here in page 87, said to refight the battles of the Iran-Iraq War, simply use forces of the for the Iranians and the Iraqis in this book, but do not field any allied formation. For air support, simply use the options given. You may want to model them with the appropriate aircraft, with such as the Iranian F-5E Tigers or F-4 Phantoms, and the Iraqi MiG-23 and Su-20s. Well, that's good. It's probably we're probably getting new aircrafts in a couple of months. That's why they probably put that there. I did actually model some aircraft using 1/144 scale MiG-23. I even magnetized some using the what remains in the battlefront. I need to get me some more stands. And you can model them. For the Iraqis, I used the Su-25 rule for them with rockets and anti-tank missiles, air to ground missiles, and for the Phantom, I'm just gonna use the Skyhawk rules for them. So I'm pretty much set. And here are the T62Ms for the Soviet battalions, who can fill them for your Soviets. And we got some camouflage Humvees, so that's kind of getting close to Gulf War stuff. So I know if you guys assemble your M1A1 tanks, they're plastic, there's an option for that cannon that I forgot the name of it. You can actually fill this M1A1 tanks, because right now they have like 2 types right now, the M1 tank and the MP improved version or something. But there's an M1A1. I know in tanks, Modern Combat has that M1A1 ready. So we might get a stat for that in Flames of War. Trust me, if they once they release that, the floodgate's gonna be open. Gulf War scenarios are gonna be in it. So this tells basically where in the scenarios where the U.S. is also the Marines lying in Iran by now. Soviets are sending in reinforcement to support their allies in Tehran. And here's the 2 scenarios over here. I can't see it. One for, I believe this is for the Iran-Iraq war, and the Israeli versus the Syrian forces. And here are the paints, how you paint them and how to model them, how to base your infantry. That will help out. And I'm so glad they returned back to Vallejo, because they had the same their own version paint, but it's basically the same as the Vallejo, but it's a different how to identify them. So I'm glad they brought back Vallejo, and that's so much easier. And Vallejo is a very reliable paint to work on. And here are the Iraqis, the Iranians. Yeah, and here are the Republican Guard and all that stuff. And Ayatollah's revolutionary. I have this. I finished assembling this, and this one's ready. It's almost ready to go. I don't have the Israeli Defense Force. I can't even pronounce it. The Kal Warriors or something. It's so weird because they have everything. This set has everything they have. They got 6 unit cards, 2 decal sheets, and the models included with the book. But for both the Republican Guard and the Revolutionaries, they don't have the decals and the unit card. I think that's why they want to have this one. Looks like Battlefront is trying to pull a GW on us. Here are the models overview for the Israeli. Yeah, like I said, most of these units they're pretty easy to come by. They're readily available. You can also get third party models, but don't tell Battlefront that. Yeah, there it is. The Iranians. Oh, that's gonna be fun to paint once I assemble them. Finish that one, and I have this. I need to get this thing done. And here are the stuff you can use for here are for the Iraqis, and here for the Iranians on the right side, left side Iraqis. Yeah, you can just this is how the guideline will help you assemble them. It's quick. And here are the expansion, the from previous one from Red Thunder and Stripes. I might do a review on those things, but we'll have to wait. And here are some bios on the tanks for the Merkaba 1 and 2, and T62 and T62M. I think that's the end of this review, guys. Please leave a comment and hit that notification bell. So this is my Team Yankee Oil War book review. Happy war gaming, everybody.